After a week off, I'm back with a new episode of Funday Monday. This time, I told my viewers that they're not allowed to use any attacking moves for the first 2 turns of the game. Starting with turn 3, they're allowed to play in any way they so choose. I've got 3 replays today. Let's check them out. Our first game of the day is brought to you by Krebs with a new twist on an old Series 1 strategy. Since the dawn of Scarlet and Violet, people have been looking for creative ways to off their own Tatsugiri in order to retain those commander boosts for Dondozo while freeing up the partner slot in order to do something else for the game. And Krebs is going to accomplish this with Parish Song Fluttermane. Is going to forego any sort of attacking for the first couple of turns. Tatsugiri is going to set up a substitute, but the whole idea is to make sure that a Parish Song activates, and then there is an opportunity to swap in Dondozo to get the commander boosts. The super funny thing about this is at the same time Pokesep, Krebs' opponent, is trying to do a setup with Slacking to overwrite its Truant ability to give it a much better one. They're not going to get to take advantage of that because in order to not perish to the Parish Song, they have to swap out Slacking before doing anything really useful with it. Now, once Tatsugiri faints, I think you can see where this is going. Flamigo with Co-Star comes in. Bird Up the Flamigo, love the nicknames. And between Bird Up and Large Marge with their huge stat boosts, basically going to roll over Pokesep without too much trouble at all. There will be a moment here in a turn where the Slacking comes back in and is able to get a critical hit play rough to bring Flamigo down to Sash, but that's really the only substantial thing Pokesep does. At the end of the game, he says, "Oh, did you steal this strategy from Wolfie?" And Krebs says, "No, the correct answer is actually Jay is decent." Another valued member of the community. Krebs got this idea from him and did a very fancy styling on poor Pokesep. Game number 2 of the day is brought to you by Gil X Mayhem and is going to lead with some Mouse Ape shenanigans. This is a combo that is very ripe with tomfoolery, and we know, the viewers, that Gil is not allowed to attack for the first 2 turns. He's going to simply protect both of his Pokemon for that first turn, and then is going to start the fun on turn 2. This Terra Poison is pretty necessary to not just get murdered immediately by any fairy moves, and you'll see Mousehold do Thunder Wave, which is really cool. You don't see it that often, but when you're trying to not attack in the early game, it makes a really good choice. After Fluttermane loses its turn to Paralysis and Roaring Moon goes down immediately to the Annihilate Punch, Gil's opponent decides that he actually doesn't want to stick around. The third game of the day is brought to you by Kamikaze Kid. This is Chaotic Routes on the lower left. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to show off a replay like this because this is the first replay that I've gotten where the submitter decided that they were going to do the Funday Monday as hard as humanly possible. Kamikaze Kid said, "Hey, I know you said not to attack for the first 2 turns, but what if I just don't attack ever?" I put this on hyperspeed for a reason. In the first game that we saw today, Krebs used Parish Song in order to pick off his own Tatsugiri, but also to eliminate one of his opponent's Pokemon. And Kamikaze Kid is going to take this to its extreme, is going to use a couple of Pokemon with Shadow Tag in order to prevent switching, and simply do Parish Song and then protect, Heal Pulse, protect, switch, all kinds of those shenanigans. You see Leech Seed a little bit from Wo-Chien, and Soda 90 VGC just can't break it. Like, I wonder if they went after this game and just uninstalled or took a break from Pokemon after this, because without launching a single attack, Kamikaze Kid is going to bring home the win in 20 not so short turns. And that concludes week 3 of Funday Monday. Normally, I have viewers submit their replays based on whatever the current doubles rule set is. However, for week 4, I'm going to ask that you play your games on the Regulation D Showdown Ladder. The rule set for week 4 is as follows. You are only allowed to use new Pokemon in Regulation D. Nothing in Regulation C or prior is allowed. You only allowed to use new to Regulation D Pokemon. Submit those replays below, and I'll see you next week.